Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2020. The album, Dad AF. I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Okay, let's get into this video. A little Whitney Houston, the receipts. Whitney, I am in such a great mood today. Let me just tell you something, okay? I would have made this, I'm sorry I'm late to drama class. I would have made this video sooner, but I was outside talking to my neighbors. We were social distancing from our driveways. I have become that person. I don't know what is happening to me, okay? I wanted to be bougie and YouTube famous, but I'm not, okay? I've become that person that like hangs out and talks to my neighbors and puts seeds on my squirrel table, which is in the backyard. I won't be turning it around today. I don't care if a flock of cardinals go back there. But anyway, that's the first thing I want to say, okay, is that I become that person. The second thing I want to say is that I received a lot of comments on my video yesterday in response to my comment that I said that I don't like cats and cats are aliens, okay? Y'all, this is a joke that I have been doing on my channel for quite some time, okay? I'm a 47-year-old man. In case, I know like a lot of times often on my rants, I have to clarify what is humor and what is not. I'm a 47-year-old man that has lived a little bit of the world, okay? I don't necessarily really truly believe that aliens are cats, okay? Cats are aliens. I'm just saying, okay? For those out there that were like, I mean, I literally got some true comments yesterday that were like, I'm unsubscribing because at this point it's not funny anymore, the way that you talk about cats. Okay, well 1987 called and they want your sense of humor back. I'm just saying, okay? The third thing I want to say is, and this is just a little slight note, but I will say I have learned greatly from my mistakes, okay? I will try to remember, because I know I'll forget, not to poke fun at the cats anymore. My good Judy Melissa just got a brand new kitten. She named it Mike. She loves the movie Halloween. She named it Mikey Meowers. So anyway, okay, cats are fine. I'm allergic to cats. That's the issue. So people are like, why don't you like cats? I'm allergic to cats. My husband's allergic to cats. If I'm around a cat, anywhere near around a cat, I just like start sneezing like crazy. Okay, but cats are fine. I like cats. They're okay. Okay, so anyway, don't be unsubscribing because of the cat situation, okay? I think we got bigger issues to talk about than that. The third thing I want to talk about is I came across this picture of Nikkietutorials, okay? And I was like, I thought it was the 80s challenge when I saw this picture. And yeah, I think Nikki is gorgeous. I've loved Nikki ever since I found her and started watching her and all this kind of stuff. Okay, kind of like you find Jesus, I found Nikki. But anyway, I've loved her the whole time. You know, she hasn't really been in any kind of like major drama. Not that I can think of that I've covered. You know, maybe a little thing here. Well, I mean, her coming out story, but that wasn't drama to me, you know. And, but like, there hasn't been any like huge stories of drama that she's been involved in that I've covered through the last couple years. And I feel like she's really stayed out of it. So when I saw this picture, I was like, oh, this is really cute. She did like an 80s challenge because of the hair, right? And then I'm reading underneath it. I'm like, this is no challenge. Like, this is how her hair is supposed to be in this picture. Okay, Nikki, you walked into some drama, gal. Now, let me tell you, in 1988, my good Judies, all my girlfriends, they had that same hair. And they called that the claw. That's what we call it. When you held it up like this, you blew dry it, and then you sprayed some Aquanet on it. That was called the claw. Is the claw coming back? I hope to God the claw's not coming back. I was surprised the scrunchies were coming back. When I said something about, I think it was Jaclyn Hill at the time, loving her scrunchies, and I was like, what is this, 1987? And everybody was like, I love my scrunchies. I was like, I did not know that scrunchies were coming back, okay? So, listen, I hope those, do you remember back in the day when we would roll our jeans up and everybody wore those white, like, aerobic socks, and then they would have the Reeboks? Do you remember that? That was the look, or the Keds, when I was in high school. So anyway, I digress. At 4 minutes and 30 seconds, let's get into the Jeffree Star drama. So, Jeffree Star has a new palette out. It's called Cremated. Well, I have to say, okay, before I get into this video, I'm going to talk about the palette, but I'm going to talk like the reveal video that he did today. And then I'm going to talk about how he hinted it out last night. I actually put it up on my Twitter and on my Instagram. And I said, so what do you guys think? Thoughts? And I just wanted to read through your thoughts to see what you guys have to say. I will tell you this. I think that what we are offended by is personal. Okay, I will tell you that. So I think that everybody, what they are offended by is different for each person. So for example, he titled this whole thing Cremated, and I'm just going to tell you one thing I saw. One person I saw in my thread said something to the effect of that they had recently lost their father. I'm really sorry to you. And that their father had been cremated. So to them, this wasn't funny, okay? Does that make sense how that's personal? Okay, he has a color in his highlighters that is called Deathblow that he defines as a cocaine white. To me, as a person in recovery of 25 years, that has lost many, many friends from overdoses, I think that is in such poor taste, okay? I have real issues. I mean, it was like, up to that point, I was like, coroner's kiss, casket. I mean, it just was all, it came, to be honest with you, if this were anybody else, we would say that this is like, it's very trite, the names are very Halloween-y, it's costumey. We would say all of that. And I think the palette is really pretty. And I actually asked a good friend of mine that's a makeup artist, like a licensed makeup artist, and she said it's a very workable palette. And that's what she told me. I asked her, I showed her the picture. She didn't know Jeffree Star. She didn't use Jeffree Star's products. She's like, it's very workable. It's a very workable palette. So I don't know, you know, but I'm talking more about the sensitivities of all of it today. So for me, do you understand how like that is personal to me? At that point though, like I wasn't really shocked anymore because it was like he really went overboard on this one to sell this whole like goth theme and whatever. But I have to tell you, like I talked to friends of mine, I asked a couple different friends of mine that aren't necessarily involved in the makeup industry, and I asked them what they thought. And you know, like some of them said like, I think it's a huge deal. Others said, I don't think it's a big deal at all. Why are people going crazy about it? And that was kind of the responses that I got too, you know, like half the people were like, this is a huge deal. He's so insensitive. They called it tone deaf, on and on and on. And other people were like, you know, or they would say it was bad timing because of the coronavirus. So this is what happened. So he put out this picture last night. Here, let me put it up here. And I put on Twitter, well, Twitter everywhere went crazy, not just because of me posting it, but like, I think I saw it that it was posted by Beautylish. And people started going crazy. And I started seeing all these comments from people saying that it was, they were using the words tone deaf, that it was insensitive, that the timing was really, really bad considering the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So, and I very rarely do this on Twitter, but I'm getting ready to start, okay? Y'all, I have been nicety over on Twitter for a long time. I'm gonna start putting opinions up there and all that kind of stuff on the Twitters over there. Okay, so I posted on Twitter, let me get into it really quick. I also did it on Instagram. Well, here was what he posted, okay? And then today he came out with the reveal, and he showed the palette, and then this is what the palette looks like. And he went through and he showed all the colors and he swatched them and all that kind of stuff. It's actually a smaller collection, but he said because of the manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. I will tell you this. I will say that this is kind of interesting to me. And y'all do what you want to do, okay? But I thought California was on this complete lockdown, okay? And like, this is just my side thing with this. You know, as we like, and I don't know, I guess I'm confused. He came out yesterday in his Instagram story and he said that he was at a photo shoot. And so I was like, are people doing photo shoots in LA? I know TV shows are not really filming there right now. I know movies are not really filming there now. A lot of TV shows are doing their finales via like satellite. So I was surprised that he said that he just got done doing this huge photo shoot, right? Unless everybody that he's been quarantined with. But then I thought I saw on his Instagram story Mitchell. So I could be wrong, but I thought it was Mitchell. So has Mitchell been quarantining with him or staying with him? And then so then in his reveal video, I was very confused. He had this guy that was in there. I don't know who the guy is. Y'all know who he is, whatever. The guy that's like the model in there that's in there with him. He flew him in from Brooklyn, or he said he was from Brooklyn. Maybe he doesn't live in Brooklyn anymore. I don't know. But he was in the video with him that he just filmed because he said, since we've been in quarantine, but he's doing a collab film with this guy. So I'm confused, and I'm like, I just am asking, like, do these rules apply to everybody in California except for Jeffree Star? I'm just asking, okay? And it's not just him. I mean, we saw this with Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson and Ryland. They were criticized for it. It seems like a lot of these people don't really feel like the social distancing rules apply to them. I don't know. I'm just asking, okay? So I'm very confused about it. I think many of us are very confused as we go forward, but I do think that it's important, you know, that these are things that we talk about, like what should we be doing, and, you know, like, are we staying safe? Are we staying healthy? And I don't know, like, it was just interesting to me that he was like, so just like, hey, here's what I'm doing, a photo shoot, like it's, you know, any other day. That surprised me. So anyway, I went in here and I put up this beauty bae, it said who's excited, at Jeffree Star, hashtag cremated, okay? They put it up, beauty bae did. And I tweeted it out and I said, what do we think? P.S. Responses will be possibly used in the video. And I was kind of surprised. It got 395 responses, 332 likes, and 11 retweets. There's 11 of you out there that really, really like me. So anyway, I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to read some of them. I'm not going to read the people's names who said them and things like that. You can go through and you can read the thread. I'm just going to read it straight down unless I feel like it's talking about things that don't have to do with what we're talking about today, or unless there's bad words. Excuse me, glamour shots, we're family friendly over here, or whatever, okay? So, someone said, I don't see the problem, I think it's edgy and I love it. And then the next person said, he should have put a statement out regarding why he couldn't push the launch date back so he didn't seem so insensitive. However, he likes drama and attention, so here we are. Okay, I will say this, right? Like, if I were Jeffree Star as a businessman, he knows he's going to get a lot of crap over this, like the insensitivity of it, but he has used the word cremated, and I'm not defending the man at all. I personally think right now, if it were me, and I had this out on the table, if it were me, okay, I would say, what's it going to cost me to repackage this and call it something different? Okay, we can still keep the whole theme. What if I change it and I call it goth? What if I change it and I call it... He could call it anything, right? That didn't, rainy day or something, you know? He's still going to sell out. He knows that. No matter what the name of it, he's still going to, what's it going to cost me to redo the paper for the packaging, to do all, I mean, can we do it, or is it going to be a total loss? Okay, well, it's going to cost that much. Do I put it out now? Whatever. To me, personally, I wouldn't put it out, okay? I just think there are going to be too many people that are going to have issues with this right now, and I do think it's insensitive about what stuff's going on. Personally, I do, okay? I don't think it's just that is. I think it's the whole, all of it together. When you look at the names and the pans and all of it and blah, 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 whatever, I think it's a bit, I don't think it's the worst thing he's ever done, but I think it's a bit insensitive. I do, you know? And I was really surprised because I thought in the reveal video, I thought he would address it and he would say, I know that people are going to say that this is insensitive, and you know what, like, it is per the timing right now, but when I started planning this, which, let's be for real, would have been 9 months ago, okay? When I started planning this, like, I didn't know that this was going to happen, and this is on brand for me. If he had said that, he didn't say that, he didn't address it in the reveal video, then I would have been like, okay, like, this makes sense to me. Like, I understand, you know what I mean, like, why he did what he did. So, but he didn't say that. And he didn't say I couldn't push back the launch date and all this kind of stuff. If he had pushed back the launch date, who knows that things aren't going to be 10 times worse 5 months down the road. And I was honestly, y'all know I'm over here, I'm trying to be objective, okay, as possible. I don't think that it's, you know, like... I'm highly critical of Jeffree Star, okay? But I'm trying to be fair to the situation. He doesn't know that if he's going to release this 6 months down the road, it might even be, and I'm trying to say this in a really nice way, it might even be more insensitive 6 months down the road. Does that make sense? So he's like, if I'm going to release it, I should probably release it now, or just take a complete loss and not release it at all, which, what would that look like? I have no idea what, like, just to scrap an entire launch would be. So that's interesting, you know? Someone else said, I can't imagine what cremated would possibly be. If it's neon colors, I'm out. It wasn't. We know that now. Cute packaging, bad timing, not buying. Oh, well, I said I wasn't going to say anybody. Okay. Really bad timing. Wonder what's inside in the names of the shades. It goes on and on and on. This is tone deaf. I understand there may be a shelf life, but he wouldn't take a hit financially if he could have pushed this back until October. The name of the concept, goth, works better with that time of the year. I read someone say his palettes are normally good for 2 years, so it was supposed to launch last month. I read, and it's good for 2 years. He had room to move things around. This was 100% on purpose. You know, someone in his team told him of possible backlash. I just want to say, I was reading this thread yesterday about Jeffree Star, and it was like somebody came out and said, you don't know him, he doesn't know who you are, and somebody else, and these were just like stands going back and forth, and somebody else said, yes, he does know who he is because he blocked me, and then the other, I'm getting my fan ready, and then the other person said, he doesn't block people personally, his team does. Girl. On what Sunday in June? Jeffree Star blocks every single person that he blocks, okay? And I'm sorry if you don't believe that, but that's just the fact of the matter right there. You think he has a team of people that are sitting there blocking his negative comments? Jeffree Star does not care that much about negative comments. Jeffree Star cares about people that call him out on his SHI toot. There's a difference, okay? Someone said this is tone deaf and honestly not surprising coming from Jeffree, who is so out of touch with reality. Someone said anything for attention, aka money making tactics, like when he wore a wig. Okay, I haven't been excited for his stuff in a long time. Somebody said I'll be buying it. So far, the most visually appealing Jeffree Star collection I've seen to date, and all they're seeing is the box, which is interesting to me. Okay, I love the marble look and the concept, and I would say that about anybody, right? I love the marble look and the concept of it all, but if I'm being completely honest, the first thing that popped in my head when I seen it was Manny's collab, which a lot of people are comparing Manny's collab with Morphe to this, and it's similar, but not. They're both marble palettes, and I'm sure if I put in on Google marble palettes, like the packaging is marble. I'm sure if I but they're very different looks at the same time, because I went and looked to compare them, and I'm sure if you Googled marble, eyeshadow palette, many marble eyeshadow palettes would come up. I will tell you, I think it's interesting that the palette is 58 something. I was like, oh. Now I know where Nathan came up with his $59. He came up with that from Jeffree Star. Someone said, I think it's bad timing. Someone said, it's on brand for him and I like the packaging. Someone said, I wonder if people would still defend this collection if James Charles did it, especially seeing since so many of them were outraged when he did the mugshot challenge. Very interesting. Someone said, oh, if James did this, it would be an entirely different story. Someone said, it's not a story because Jeffree Star is a shock jock. James Charles is a kid-friendly content. Well, when it pays him well. Someone said he's got the money to postpone this. He isn't struggling to pay rent. The name of the collection in his tweet announcing this collection is incredibly tone deaf. The emoji, no thanks. He put a coffin with it. This, as other countries had to create additional burial pits and hospitals. Somebody said initially struggled to keep up with this pandemic. He is out of touch. And someone said, I know I'm playing devil's advocate here, but his company has a large staff that might be living paycheck to paycheck and struggling to make rent. He might also have pushed it back already, and this is the latest that he could have done. He could downsize like the rest of America is going to have to do. I'm just saying. Lisa and the Cult Jam! I had to shout her out, I'm sorry, and let me tell you why, okay? So Lisa and the Cult Jam, that's not what her real name is, but anyway. She has been requesting a 3-hour vlog for so long. And last night was the first night that I have gone out and driven around in my car in like 2.5 months, right? 6 weeks or something, I don't know. And I did a 3-hour vlog. I didn't even plan on doing it. It was my 3-hour vlog I did last night, so it's up over on my vlog channel. She said the collection looks nice, although the name cremated was trademarked last year. The release still feels like really bad timing. And that was the other thing I wonder, like, how long would the trademark last? If he didn't use, well, it will last forever, I guess. But, he knows that people know it's going to come out, so it was released he was planning on doing this last year. But does that mean that he just decides that he's not, like, I think with everything going on right now, do you not have, we saw all these team meetings and Shane's, are you telling me that you're not having like a Zoom meeting where you're like, should we release this? It's bad timing. Are you telling me not one person on that team looked at Jeffree Star and said, this is really bad timing. A lot of people are going to have issues with it. I think his response is, people will still buy it. And what am I going to do? Not release the product at all? And people will still buy it. So we're going to release it. That's what I think the conversation. I think that, in my conspiracy speculation. I get that, but cremated, really? It's too much in my opinion. There are so many other directions, especially in today's climate. That's too much. He has such a young demographic. Someone said, it's just makeup. And this is Jeffree. It's not like he's some nun who decided to put out some crazy SHI took just to piss people off, blah, blah, blah. Someone said, I like the outer packaging, but not feeling the name. Someone said, yeah, I think he trademarked it back in September. He also frequently says deceased, his reaction to things. Someone said, I feel sorry for Jeffree. We all know how long it takes to make one of these, and no one could foresee the current situation. It just gives people a reason to try and bring him down. Unfortunate timing, but it's not offensive. Someone said, I love it. People are going to be butthurt over anything. He could literally put out a palette called Snowstorm or Hot Summer Night, and people would say he's being insensitive to global warming. And somebody responds and says, weather isn't death. And somebody said, global warming is death to thousands of animal species and to our planet. This is the thing when we, like, okay, you have to see both sides of the coin. And sitting where I do, I see both sides of the coin. When somebody says, he could literally put out a palette called Snowstorm and people would say he's being insensitive, okay? The other thing is that Jeffree Star can do something that's really, really insensitive, and all of his stands will say there's nothing wrong with it. It goes both ways. So you have to be like really objective when you're watching all this go down. Someone said, I just want a neutral palette, which he addresses. He said one day maybe he'll do it. Love him or hate him, his shadows are bomb. Someone said, should have been postponed, incredibly tone deaf. It would have been acceptable to launch in several months when Halloween is close to the fall collection, even in September. It goes on and on and on. Someone said, not surprised, we were in the middle of the pandemic, and he had 2 launches, 420 stuff. He has no couth. Manny had a launch that was supposed to come out, and he held it back. Manny's coming out with his, though, too, he said. Jeffree could have done the same, cough, cough, but then it wouldn't come out at the same time as Manny. Someone said, it's on brand. I think people will be offended by any and everything. Someone said, no. You just have a lack of empathy, and he's the queen of insensitivity, so let's not act like he cares about the right thing to do. I really do think, though, like, in everything that's going on with Jeffree Star right now and everybody being so highly critical, I don't know that this was necessarily the time. Like, where's his PR team saying, you know, Jeffree, with everything that's going on right now, maybe this isn't. I mean, are you really, why do you want to stir up more drama right now? Unless he really doesn't care, you know? I don't know. Let's go over to the Instagram and see what people had to say on the Instagram. I want to thank everybody that always posts pictures of me with their dogs and their cats and their kids and everything, watching me in the distance, and then they're like, oh my god, we love watching Peter Monn. I always reshare those on Instagram. I love those so much. It's so fun, isn't it? Okay, so let's go over here and see. Okay, oh wait, damn it, Janet, I just got my part. Here it is. Okay, seen by 2,400 people. Let's see all the responses. So I asked people what they thought. Makes sense with the color scheme. Jeffree brand has always been to shock. I'm just going to read these down the road, okay? His reveals are really starting to feel like infomercials. I actually thought in the reveal video that he seemed very nervous to me. He kept on saying something that he doesn't usually say. I wanted to remember what it was. It was something he kept on saying at the beginning over and over, or, okay, like, are we ready, or all right, or something like that. But it was something he doesn't typically say. He seemed very nervous in this to me. Creative, loved his sales pitch, but this palette isn't for me. The worst timing, this should have been scrapped. It's cute, or it's not cute or cool, it's effed up. Insensitive, I don't care if it's just makeup, this is not okay, too many have died. I actually like it and I will be picking it up. Absolutely not. Death will always be a sensitive subject, and especially now. Kind of living for it. It's the first palette of his I actually love. Zero class. Do you guys see? These are literally going right back and forth like a tennis match, aren't they? Nothing new, but glad it's something finally wearable. Is he bringing back neutrals, or is this going to be a flop? I like it, but won't buy it because I have too much makeup already. Trash. With a trash can emoji. Love, can't wait to get this into my collection. Seems like they cut corners and rushed it. Lazy packaging coming from his company. I mean, I have to say, as a collection of Jeffree Stars, I was not blown away by this collection in any bit of the mind. I mean, like, I'm just not. You know, like, he usually, like, when I'm seeing people being like, literally, I saw a comment from somebody last night that was like, this is the most amazing release I've ever seen. I was like, marble cardboard with cremated on it. Like, you don't even know. Like, I was like, and then when he came out and it was like very small, and I understand that it couldn't be like this huge thing because of what's going on in the world right now. I totally understand that. But like, the creativeness of his usual stuff just seemed kind of, you know, gone to me. I was kind of surprised, you know. But, you know, if he went the other direction, like, if you guys see the picture of him, like, you want to talk about people having issues with this whole idea. Did you see the picture of the picture that he showed in his reveal video, and it's him blowing away because he's like ash? I was like, people, if they had an issue with the name cremated, they're going to really have an issue with that. Like, you know what I mean? But can you imagine if he had come out and the palette was like in the shape of an urn or something? I mean, usually Jeffree really pushes it all the way. Like, can you imagine? I mean, Blue Blood palette is in the shape of a coffin. Like, so isn't it Blue Blood or is it Bloodlust? That's in the shape, I think it's Blue Blood, right? That's in the shape of a coffin. So, not relevant, that's my thought. I think it's in poor taste, even with the pandemic, even without the pandemic going on. Ooh, color scheme is better than Bloodlust as far as consistency. Love it. Manny did marble packaging, now Jeffree is doing marble packaging, just same. Manny did a strawberry scented palette, this is from the same person. Then Jeffree did strawberry setting spray. The theme is inappropriate with everything going on in the world right now. Pass. I think it looks like his best palette yet. This is the best ever, in my opinion. I have to have it. Taking me back to feeling emo, love it, and love the campaign pick vibe. The goth era died in the early 2000s, he needs to stop trying to bring it back. I think it's pretty boring, to be honest. His past few releases aren't doing much for me. Interested in the color story, sort of bad timing for a collection about death though, love it. I do think it's interesting, I do want to say this in reading all of this, that all of this is getting hyped up over this drama and all this kind of stuff on the heels of like, the James Charles, like, finale of the show yesterday. It's like, could you have, like, at least, like, waited just, like, one day? Like, you know, like, it always kills me when it's like you want to announce something on somebody else's big day, but we already know they don't care about each other, right? But he doesn't want to bring any more emotional distress to James. Somebody said tacky. Somebody said, I love the colors and the glosses are gorgeous, but I wish he would have called it deceased. It's not for me. People would still have had an issue with it. I'm just being objective. If it was called deceased, are you telling me people would have less of an issue with it being called deceased or cremated? I think people would have had more of an issue with it being called deceased, personally. Thought it was kind of creepy at first, but if it is more neutral palette, I would love that. Overall, it looks nice, but it looks like something that would be made at Forever 21 or Amazon for $12. Not really my thing. Kind of morbid with everything going on in the world right now. I think the packaging is cute, and I'm looking forward to seeing the shades, but I think it's overproduced collection because of a pandemic that he didn't know was going to happen. Oh wait, I think it's fine. This collection was supposed to be released last month. He can't trash a whole collection because of a pandemic that he didn't know was going to happen. This would have been a great Halloween collection. The name gives me the creeps. My daughter is hyped, but she wants to be a coroner, so there's that. Okay, and it just goes on and on and on. You guys, I got so many comments on this. Tone deaf and gross. No. Super excited, honestly. No, not bothered. No thoughts until the shades are revealed. I am so ready. I mean, you guys, it just goes on and on and on. I could sit here. Do you want me to read a few more? Y'all want me to read a few more? Okay. Not cute. Like, I get it, but no. No. I'm so confused by the packaging. It's white and gray, but he says it's a goth palette. Packaging is pretty. To be honest, I see marble pattern in the bargain bin these days. Very 2013 dead trend. I love the eye in the cremated image. The eyeliner is amazing. I think we are in for a surprise. Love the idea of it and can't wait to see it. Bad timing on the name. I want it and I don't even care what's inside. 24 Shades of Grey. Gasp. Family friendly. Intrigued to see what the colors will be. The title was registered last year. He's between a rock and a hard place. Made me wince when I saw the name. Should have pushed it back even further. Not appropriate. Excited. Looks like something new and different. And finally, and I'm singing it, her name. Sincerely, Jack said, who'd care? So, there you have it. That's all, well, not all the opinions. I could have sat there and done a 400-minute video about all the opinions. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. You know, I do think that, like, today, we live in a world where we are personally offended by things. But that's okay, okay? That's your feeling. That's your emotion. You have a right to be offended by something. So if you put out there in the world, like, I'm offended by this because, and someone says, you don't have, no, you have every right to be offended by anything today, you know? And nobody has a right to tell you when you shouldn't be offended. I don't know. I wish he would have at least come out with a statement and said, you know, like, I'm sorry, you guys, I couldn't push it back any further. I know the name was really, why can't he just not, like, be that person? Like, why can you not be that person, Jeffree, where you just come out and say, like, you know, I know it's insensitive, you guys, but I hope you love the palette anyway, and if I could change the name, I would. For example, somebody else that's doing that with packaging, they're keeping the old name, and they haven't changed it yet, and they addressed it, and we might be talking about that in another video. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that, all that stuff in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.